Congratulations, Rabbi Gans, on 30 years. What a wonderful tribute to you and your synagogue at CBT. As I understand it, my personal minister is seated at my table and leaned over to tell me that the translation of Beth Tikva is House of Hope. Is that right? So yes, I'm not smart enough, so I have to travel with my personal minister to share that with me, because he's trying to make me look good, which is a hard thing to do, as my wife will tell you. I come from a small island in the South Pacific called Tonga, and my family regularly, they come out nearly every summer. I have family that come out, and sometimes a lot of family, as the Lewises will tell you. I've had as many as 25 Tongans living in my home, in my basement, for 2 weeks. They come and we have, I don't know, I used to think that Polynesians, because we put on luau's, that we know how to party. Until I started becoming friends with Jews. And you have to follow me here. Growing up in Polynesia, where there aren't any Jews that I know of, I grew up in Phoenix, Mesa, Arizona, a suburb of Phoenix, and there were probably Jews in my high school, but I didn't know any that I knew of. From there, I go to Brigham Young University, a Mormon-owned school, and there were certainly no Jews there. And I played in the NFL, where the first time I really knew that I had a couple of Jewish teammates was when I was playing. I was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. The first memory I have of being with having Jewish teammates was. It's become sort of part of football, the football tradition to kneel before you go out to the game, to play the game, and recite the Lord's Prayer, which is a very Catholic and very Christian thing to do. And you'll have to understand that as a Latter-day Saint, that isn't a part of my tradition. So, but I knelt anyways, because you look around, you don't want to be the one guy that doesn't kneel, so I knelt, but I kept my eyes open. I looked around, and there were two guys standing in the back in uniform who weren't kneeling with the rest of the team. And then I learned that they were Jews. And then I thought, okay, well, I can go stand with them. This isn't really a part of my tradition, so. And luckily, they were, one was a linebacker from Auburn, and the other was an offensive lineman. They were two big guys. Now, if there was a kicker and a punter, I might change. And then we moved to, I played in St. Louis. The team moved to Phoenix, where they are now, and then late in my career, then I traded to the Green Bay Packers, and then we moved here. And when I came here, I assumed that everybody lived in Philadelphia. When I got here, I learned that everybody that played for the Eagles lived in New Jersey. And one of my teammates said, we all live in the Cherry Hill area, or as many of us call it, Little Jerusalem. I said, why? Well, it's a Jewish neighborhood. But part of the reason why we live there is because, we just feel safer there. Our kids are, before we bought a home and lived permanently, our permanent home, when I started working at Channel 10, we rented homes in different places. We rented a place in Cherry Hill, and our next door neighbors were Jews, and their two kids went to school with my children. And it was interesting because they would come and play at our home, but they would never eat ham sandwiches in our home. And so my wife and I were trying to figure things out in our relationship with them. But we absolutely love how these kids behaved. And we could tell that there were certain expectations that they had, and there were things that they were taught in their home that we were trying to teach to our children in our home. And we could tell that because of the way that they behaved and the decorum that they had in our home, we sensed that our kids would be absolutely safe in their home. Fast forward a couple of years, I retired from the Eagles. Channel 10 hires me to be their sportscaster, and we buy a home in Mount Laurel. And our backyard neighbors, we share a backyard, are the Lewises. But I had to go over and knock on their door to tell them that we were going to have a luau. You're welcome to come, bring a lawn chair, just throw it, sit. But we're going to do some dances. And at the end of the evening, when it's dark, I've got two nephews who are going to perform the Samoan fire dance. I had forgotten until Arlene reminded me that it was an especially dry summer that year, and the grass was really brown. I had forgotten that. Luckily, they were pretty good, and they didn't drop the fire, but they twirled it and flew it up in the air and did all kinds of stuff with it. And it's one of those special memories that we have and that they have that we share together. I'll share something else about the Lewises. I'm a part of a presidency, three-man presidency. The leader of the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for the South Jersey region is seated at my table. Ahmed, raise your hand. His name is Ahmed Corbett. He has two counselors, and I'm one of them. The other is seated at across Joe Vanderwerken. Their church, the church in Medford was vandalized a couple of years ago. Well, when we rededicated the building, we sent out invitations to local congregations to come and join with us in the rededication of our building. Two people came to the rededication, Rabbi Gantz and an imam from South Jersey. Now I would have known, because I wasn't at the rededication, President Corbett, President is his title, as a rabbi is for Rabbi Gantz, presided at the rededication, and I was running with my dog. I run with my dog every day, and I run through the neighborhood. And some of you who live in the area probably are nodding your head. You see me with my dog running. As I was turning the corner at the Lewis's home, Arlene and her daughter were just getting out of the car, and they waved at me. They know I'm always running with an iPod, so I never hear anything, but they waved at me, so I knew it was something important to stop. Took out my earbuds, and she said to me, "I just heard about the misfortune of your church." I said, "How did you know about it?" She said, "My rabbi, Gary Gantz, just spoke of it to our congregation and encouraged us as members of CBT to reach out if we knew any Latter-day Saints in our community." I consider myself a pretty tough guy, and I'm admitting something that Arlene doesn't really know, because when I left her, I got welled up. I was choked up with emotion that she shared that with me, and I was anxious to be here tonight, not only to be in your good rabbi's presence with his dear wife and his family, his two boys that I've met, but also on behalf of Scott and Scott's family. Janet, when you were here introducing Gretchen, you said something that caught my attention. You said that Janet was a Jew by choice. I'm sorry, Gretchen, I apologize. Gretchen was a Jew by choice. I don't think I've ever heard that, but I thought to myself, we could be a Jew by choice, and I'd like to be Jewish. Because we know a boy over here. I really stepped in that one, didn't I? I should have thought this thing through. Big Al Meltzer. I'm sure you all, those of you who follow sports. And the first time I ever went to a bar mitzvah, in this case it was a bat mitzvah for his daughter, who was 13, right? 13. Her name is Jordan. And Al invited me to come to the bat mitzvah and came with my family. And we had no idea what, we had never been to a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah. We got there and it was an absolute party like I had never seen before. We were lifting Al up on the chair and dancing around. We got to sing Hava Nagila. It was just an absolute fun time. And I told my wife, I said, you know, we must have some, we got to have some Jewish influence. Nobody parties like that I've seen. That's just, they're amazing. Let me just, in conclusion, express my gratitude to all of you at CBT for bestowing this honor on me. I have my parents who immigrated to this country with us. My mother had a little thing that she embroidered that was in our home, and it read, "No success can compensate for failure in the home." And the other one read, "The most important work that we will ever do is within the four walls of our home." I have, in my life, have tried to live by those two principles, that whatever success that we attain is really meaningless if there is turmoil in our home. I salute your community for the way that you teach your faith to your people, Rabbi. That's important in a time in our country that we're losing that. I think our children deserve to be taught principles of faith. They need to be taught our traditions. I love that we began this program tonight by singing the Star-Spangled Banner, followed by a Jewish, I would say hymn, but I'm not sure if that's the national anthem, and then a prayer. I love your Jewish traditions. I feel so blessed that we moved back east and that we've been able to be neighbors with the Lewises and have friends among your community. I feel like I've made friends here tonight. Janet, I honor you and your two daughters and your late husband. What a terrific human being Scott was and is, because I believe that his spirit continues to live. As a matter of fact, I have the sense that he is here tonight. His presence is among us. And these are the kinds of things that, you know, it's ironic that he wanted to name this event after him, but he passed, and it turned out that it would be named after him. I can't think of a greater honor. I thank you. God bless you. I appreciate this, and I hope to continue to make you proud that you gave me this award and this honor. Thank you very much.